Hi everyone, and welcome to Our Heritage, Our Planet Film Week. I'm Shli Suarez Burgos.
Y yo soy David Riera.
And we're both members of the Olas y Acción Council that's part of Hispanic Access Foundation.
We'll be your hostess with the mostest for today and through the next couple of days. Our team members, Brenda, Armani, and Evelyn, will be available for your questions, comments, and concerns throughout this festival on the chat.
Para escuchar el audio de hoy en español, pueden llamar a nuestra línea de interpretación. Pongamos el número en el chat.
We have four jam-packed days with different types of films, highlighting different types of themes. On the 10th, we'll be focusing on land and nature.
On the 11th, oceans and waterways.
El 12, we'll be covering environmental justice.
And on the final day, the 13th, we'll end the story centered around climate change.
We encourage you to experience the whole and stay to the end of this festival by premiering our films from Our Heritage, Our Planet grant program this afternoon. We'll also have opportunities to connect with special speakers and guests throughout the week during our scheduled discussions.
And don't worry about breaks. We've actually included those in, so don't worry, you got bathroom and snack breaks coming ahead.
In October 2021, Hispanic Access Foundation debuted Our Heritage, Our Planet, Nuestra Herencia, Nuestra Planeta Film Week, Semana de Film, to uplift the nexus between Latino, Black, Indigenous, and all communities of color and the environmental topics through storytelling. Over the last 2 years, we've had over 1,600 films submitted, 80 films chosen to be showcased, and 10 winning film selections. Nearly 1,000 registrants have attended in the past.
Join us for discussions, performances with filmmakers, policymakers, and community members of various conversation topics.
For the third year in a row, Our Heritage, Our Planet Film Week is building a space, both in person and virtually, where creative filmmakers, climate justice advocates, and other working environmental topics can come showcase and celebrate stories of the Latino, Black, and Indigenous, and other POCs connected to our heritage and our planet. The land, the nature, the ocean, the waterways, cultura, tradiciones we identify with.
This year we've received over 500 film submissions, and today and all this week we're going to be showing you about 35 films for this film festival.
We are very intentional about centering BIPOC storytelling in this event because too often our voices, nuestras voces, are left out. They're misunderstood or deemed not valuable in the topics of climate, environmental justice, and with these issues impacting nuestras comunidades, our communities, are the most severe.
Absolutely. We diligently work to create and curate a space for storytelling, dialogue, advocacy, learning, and relationship building that brings together diverse audiences to celebrate their work while uplifting the common threads of our experiences.
Adicionalmente, we want this space to serve as a conduit such that we can provide additional opportunities for funding, employment, educación, education, exposure to aspiring filmmakers de colores. Got you? Got you? I was throwing my hand out too like Spider-Man.
Let's go. Let's just start by saying this isn't your typical Zoom meeting. We encourage you to comment in the chat. You can use emojis, reactions. You can ask questions in the Q&A. We're just kind of here to have a good time.
Now, if you're using Chrome or Firefox as your browser to get the best experience this week, on the top right, you can see who all is attending and even direct message each other. You can view the schedule cada día, each day, by clicking the View Schedule button on the top left. And in between the film and the screenings y las presentaciones, feel free to join one of our virtual tables by clicking on an empty seat to talk to other participants or hop around from table to table where it gets real and the discussions are open.
You're also welcome to leave the film festival at any time and come back for when your schedule allows. And lastly, if you're a speaker or an organizer, you can come backstage, found in the orange button in the top center of your screen, to plan with any other organizers and make sure we're on track for your session.
To my fellow speakers and hosts, please mute yourselves and keep your cameras off unless you are engaging and speaking.
All right, guys. Now, who's ready to watch some of these awesome films? I know I am.
I know I am. We are going to take you on a bit of a journey through some different lenses, shedding light on subjects or subjects' connection to land, nature, and their heritage.
It's gonna be sick. First up is Balmain by Guillermo Garacin from Mexico, which is actually nominated for the Best Animated Short.
Itzel is a young girl of Mayan descent who goes on a camping trip with her father deep in the jungles. As they stargaze together, Itzel's curiosity leads her to wander off and explore the surrounding areas. While wandering, she discovers a jaguar in captivity, a magical jaguar named Balam. Without hesitation, she frees the majestic animal. However, their escape is shortly lived as the furious poacher begins to pursue them. Itzel runs for her life, and in the process, she stumbles upon a mysterious, lost Mayan city.
Enjoy.
משבע אלקון יוצ'ולטג'.
¿Dónde estoy?
Tanahil.
Mi papá, ¿dónde está?
Chentech, ubeita la castique.
¿Cómo?
Abeta kaholtik tuus atal. Anolo be, hach no hoch uchibalo. Tu kanob usokob lekan, yetel tulakal eko.
¿De verdad? ¿Solo por ver unos puntitos?
Le ekobo, mische poco bonilobi. Yetel kupisi sutukob kachil, tumena uchben chibalo. Yetel piskino kumetikobo. Uyohlo bashkin malo utialu yuchul pakal. Och, tzom, yetel tulakal umeyaho. Letile eko esiktio ubelo.
¡Wow! Pero, ¿cómo esto me ayuda a regresar?
Achívalo ve, mantats tawetel yano. Tukle itzel, tener, helincananti que este tan shelumi lobo. Teche, anana casticubel achíbal.
Okay, next up we have Ekbe by Maria Eli Hernandez Fitch. While learning to make gumbo, personal stories of the creator's grandparents are shared as a way to honor and preserve their indigenous history and life through oral storytelling. This is going to be a good one.
I hope you're hungry. I know I was.
My sister Mariah made this project on my mama and papa. You see, the elders who raised us have raised us to be strong, to carry on, to survive what we are. We come from the crawfish, earth from the water, creator from the land was people, language, culture. Uma are my people. Uma was my language until it was French to English. Washed away, fading only to be brought back alive to survive. Ekba, Ekba, Ekba.
How many onions do you need?
Two onions.
Okay.
Two onions. You gotta put 2 onions in.
That's the first thing?
That's the first thing.
Tu mets un grosse cuillère d'huile, comme ça,
You bit pas.
c'est dans la bombe.
Okay.
Et tu quittes,
Warm up.
warm up. Tu mets tes oignons à frire. Donc tes oignons étaient cuits. Tu quittes ça chauffer.
Okay. Speed it.
Just wait for it to brown.
Let's do that.
Oh, wow. Dulac is an hour away from Homer.
Oh no, but you like.
No. Hold on, let's start over. Wait, when you cut me off guard.
You like is 17 miles from our home.
No. All right,
Oh,
come
yeah.
here.
Ooh.
I was thinking New Orleans. Okay, sit down, shut
Oh,
up.
Lord.
You sure you want me to interview? You want Pippa to interview?
I've seen that before you said it.
Pippa got better stories than me. Dulac was a quiet town. It was everybody knew everybody, and people shared their food, and it was very, very quiet, and everybody knew each other. That's why I guess there wasn't no trouble.
The only thing we was poor then, but you know, people had to help my mom and my daddy. Well, our family we was there 8. We had 3 boys and 12 girls.
You only had my mom, my daddy, and my sister. My mom's name was Josephine. My daddy's name was Dominic. My sister's name was Jerry. On va mettre les saucisses à cuire. Parce que
On y un peu.
jaunir avec les oignons.
That's why it's good to put your water and the egg.
Huh?
Yeah, you see? They break it apart. So, when you do that, you put a little bit of this. Okay?
Okay.
Watch, I'm going to show you. Then I'll get them on both days. Okay?
When I started working with my dad, I was 6 years old. I had to help him till I was 12. At 12 years old, I went captain. And they said I had to go to school. So I went 3 days of school, and after that, they let me go work with my daddy. Yeah, I worked the sweet mama for him. And I worked there, he sold me a piece of land. I was 13 years old. He said I might need that when I'm gonna get married to build my house. Mr. Alfonso Roma. Okay, I bought it with it, $10 a trip. And I paid $400 for it. So after that, I went to work for the Buchanan. And I worked 32 years for that man. And he sold me the boat, the Viola Bay. I kept that boat 32 years. And after that, I bought me a Master Fitch, a steel hull. And that's what I made my living with. I bought my house, I bought my car, I bought my everything.
Women, most of the women work at factories, and the men had, some of the men's work at the factory, but most of them was on shrimping boats. They did shrimping for a living, a lot. Almost all of Dulac.
Well, you had two schools. You had one for the workmen and one for the Indian. The Indian used to go down the bay.
The Indian school, oh, it was rough there. I cried to go to school, and once I was in school, I didn't like it because they had outside toilets. The teacher was very mean.
When I went to school in 3 days, so that's what they was teaching us English, because we used to talk all the time French.
Yes, when I started school, that's how I started speaking English. Well, in those days, I don't think we was treated right because we had our own sections. Being Indian, we had to sit in the back. And we had a little space just for us to sit. So now I look back at it and say, I still sit in the back because I guess I was so used to sitting in the back.
Okay. Yes. And they're gonna be good. Okay, butterfly assiette. Ma special assiette.
Ça c'est bon.
Is it called filet?
Un beau filet. Ok. On a mon gris.
Ekba and Uma are beautiful lost language, means to build and also to cook. We are taught through food, through gumbo, through stories. This is what it means to be Uma. To build back what we lost. Build back after to destruction of our people, language, or lands. Ekba.
I'll tell you what, that film left me with a massive appetite. I'm gonna reach out to Maria to ask her for that recipe. You don't know how important food is to building community.
That's so true. It's definitely a way of cultural preservation. Next up, we have Dulce by director Aleida Ortiz, which is also nominated for our Best Animated Short. Dulce is a short 3D animated film that explores the loving relationship between mother and daughter while balancing the heavy concept of death.
Buenos días, mi niña.
¿Qué haces?
algo para ti.
¿Qué es la muerte?
La muerte es dulce. Ella te abraza mientras haces la transición al siguiente paso del más allá. Te guiará en el viaje para que no te sientas solo o con miedo. Una madre que te cuida para que recuperes la salud y puedas vivir de nuevo.
¿Y si no quieres ir al viaje?
La muerte no te pregunta si quieres. Simplemente tienes que hacerlo.
¿Me obligará? ¿Como cuando me dices que me aleje de los nopales?
Lo sé. No te gusta cuando te digo qué hacer, pero...
Pero solo me acerco para ver si hay tunas.
Si no lo hago, te vas a lastimar.
Como esa vez que me metí en el arroyo y casi me ahogué. Eso fue espantoso.
Ay, mi niña. Si no te hubiera visto, no estarías aquí.
Pero sí estoy. ¿La muerte vive?
No, pero ama la vida. Ella aprecia los últimos momentos que tiene una persona.
Ah, qué linda. Ojalá sea tan dulce como tú, mamá.
Estoy segura que sí será. Ya duérmete. Tienes un largo viaje por delante. Buenos días, mi niña.
Next up, we're going to bring you Holistic Conversations on Liver Wellness by Kate P.R. Dunn. We're going to look at these through seasons of life. This eye-opening conversation shares the pact of indigenous community is making on the awareness for the importance of liver health rooted in traditional cultural ways of life. These conversations put emphasis on looking forward to teach future generations about the importance of the liver and how imperative it is to the overall health and well-being.
Wellness is a story from long ago when we lived in relationship with each other and the land, when ceremony and medicine supported spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical health as a whole. But it's also a story about you and me today and how we can still live in balance.
Just like in our community working together, young people sharing these health stories forward to new generations is an important part of this story.
It's very important to know that you are loved.
We come together to talk about our health, to share perspectives to listen and to learn from each other how it's important for us to connect to our bodies in a very loving way. This supports our healing of our mind, our heart, and our souls, as well as our body.
Liver is important. It generates the body.
Your heart, your kidneys, but the liver, it does such a function that is important for us to realize we need to respect it.
The liver is absolutely critical. It is the one, I always say it's like a carburetor. It filters out everything in our body, all the toxins and everything, but it also stores the minerals and the vitamins within our body.
The word tapi means liver. And our elders used to say how sacred, how fragile, and how delicate the tapi is. So we all have a responsibility to look after our tapi so that we can live long, productive, healthy lives.
The liver keeps us alive. Without the liver, we could not live.
Traditionally, we have a lot of medicines. And when we lived off the land looked after us. It provided the food that we needed, the vitamins, all the nutrients, all the protein, so that our body can function properly and be healthy.
I remember as a young child, my great-granny would make us drink dandelion tea every spring with milk thistle, and we'd have to cleanse our body of any toxins. It's important that they return to the old ways.
A lot of our teachings are land-based. Though as a child, I've had many opportunities to hold a liver and how beautiful our liver is. Know when animals are harvested and how, as we are shown how the liver operates and functions in the animal's body, we're also told that it functions the same way within our body as well, and how we need to protect it.
When we use our traditional wellness and healing, it helps us, our spirit, to be prepared for that journey, and we're more successful when we have both. We have our traditional wellness and healing as part of that journey, and they complement what Western medicine gives us within that journey.
I was at home and I was going through really bad withdrawal. And I remember my mom just telling me to go smudge. And so I went into my dad's room and I lit a smudge. And I remember just weeping out loud and saying that I don't want to die because I know I'm going to die if I continue using drugs.
Many of our people are suffering and dying from intergenerational trauma. Usually it's related to a lot of addiction issues, alcoholism, opioids, drug, and all the violence that have been passed on has really impacted our people here in Turtle Island. We need to heal from the effects of intergenerational trauma. We need to nurture each other. We need to help each other to heal.
And all that had to happen in order for me to get sober. I went to the detox center because I overdosed. It was then when I got my blood tested, I found out that I was Hep C positive.
Hepatitis C is a virus that may get into the blood, and then the liver gets damaged by bad blood. This can cause cirrhosis or scar tissue and can even lead to liver cancer. This is why it's important to get screened, because the virus can hide in your liver sometimes for 20 years, causing damage. But there's a cure. Medication daily for 8 to 12 weeks, and then the liver can begin healing the damaged tissue.
Everything you eat or drink comes through this. This is depicting 4 stages of liver damage. Virus enters through the blood, The infected blood gets into your blood somehow, and there's different ways.
You can get hepatitis C from a blood transfusion years ago, or even unclean medical instruments from the dentist or even a manicure, unsterile tattoo or piercing supplies, or by sharing needles, pipes, or straws, even sharing a razor, nail clippers, or a toothbrush with someone who has had the virus.
The virus goes to one cell, makes photocopies of itself, that cell bursts, then more copies, so that's the viral load. And then the direct-acting antiviral, the cure, when they take it, it goes right to that cell and it stops that process.
If you have hepatitis C, it doesn't mean you're gonna die right now. Your liver can heal. This is something that can happen to anyone. You do not deserve it. It has happened to a lot of people. Because this virus doesn't tell you when it's there, it's important to get screened to protect your liver and to protect those in your family. It's important to keep our blood healthy. It's a circle of connection and balance.
We're gonna get your physical body ready. We're gonna get it healthy. You need all these other parts in balance. Everything will combine it and will get better.
We need to focus on that balance, mind, body, spirit, and emotion, and create that harmony. Because if we don't, healing can be quite difficult. We got to prepare ourselves, especially our spirit. Bring that strength in there so that, as we take that journey forward, we're able to do it with strength.
Utilize everything that we can, whether it's Western medicine, tradition, counseling, talking to knowledge keepers and elders, attending ceremonies, and so that we can heal our spirits and to be able to live in the present moment.
We need to focus on bringing in that respect, bringing in an honor and the gifts that Creator's given us, and really focus on how can we work on ourselves, because the life that Creator gave us is such a gift. Probably the greatest gift we've ever received. But the Creator gave us that willpower to be able to make those decisions and be able to take those steps to help not only ourselves, but to people that are suffering too and dealing with those types of effects or illnesses, whether it's liver, cancer, addictions. There's always going to be those struggles. It takes work. And when one is off balance, they're all off balance. And it can be a struggle at times.
You find a balance. You gain that confidence, and you take pride in yourself, and you see the beauty within and the beauty that's out. No, to really accept and nurture and love your body, your physical aspect, your mental aspect, your emotional aspect, and your spiritual aspect, so you have a purpose to contribute back to your community through nurturing yourself.
All of that stuff that I had abuse and those bad memories that I had gone through growing up seemed to impact me all at once. Because I had not really learned any coping skills besides drinking or using, that's what I did. And it just kind of keeps layers on of hopelessness and darkness and of giving up, because it's hard to see a future when you've got this thing inside you. There's also the stigma that we carry. So I had nobody, I couldn't bring myself out of that. I had to have nurses that cared, right? I had to have doctors or counselors that worked with people, have them to say, hey, you deserve more in your life. Every person in this world is worth it, is worth living a full life. Nobody deserves to have their life cut back because of one little mistake. They never gave up on you. That was really important.
I think it's that reconnection as to who we are, to our culture, our traditions, our connection to our spirituality that really helps us and strengthens us. And sometimes we may think there's many barriers there when we're trying to reconnect. Take the time and really, it's a step at a time. Take what you need at that time, and I think those doors open. And once you have that sense of who you are and that connection, and we're all the Creator's children, you realize that we can use what we were taught and what we heard and use that in our lives to strengthen that journey forward.
That hopelessness that I had walked around with so long in my heart is gone. I've always had those people who had helped me with my Hep C. They were always there, and I could talk to them about anything. And so having that community established and having those relationships has been probably one of the most important things for me.
So it's a beautiful feeling to know who you are, knowing that He put into all His children. He gave them that gift of knowing that they're never alone. Never alone.
So whether it's through ceremony, through prayer, through the sacred songs, but even the sacred plants and the medicines that we use to help us keep that harmony and stay healthy. We need to bring those into our lives. But we also need to bring the teachings. It helps us in our life and gives us purpose and direction. And when we look at love, respect, we look at courage, we look at humility, and we look at wisdom and honesty and truth. But you know, we can't have wisdom without all the others. We can't have respect without the other six. You know, they're all connected, and they all give us guidance in our lives and how to live our life.
I want to get back to that, to the roots of healing, to the roots of community. Some of those traditions that have been around for thousands of years, but also through the connection of Western medicine. And being able to make those things work, both for us. And that's the benefit.
Our liver is so connected to the environment. Look at our Mother Earth. She's struggling right now with all these extreme things that are going on, the extreme floods, the fires, everything. And if she's not clean, that's our responsibility, is to take care of our own bodies as well as our sacred mother. She has her own bones, the rocks and the mountains. She has her own bloodlines, the lakes, the rivers, and the streams. She has her own energy lines and magnetic fields. Our bodies are very much like Mother Earth, where our liver is absolutely imperative to well-being. We were told at the beginning of time, life is a gift, it's not a given. And you are to treat your body as Creator gave it to you, a living sacred entity.
A message that I really try to share with youth is that your ancestors were well people. They lived well, they had healthy lifestyles and active lifestyles. Wellness was really just rooted in their traditional cultures and their traditional ways of life, and just remembering that and honoring that your ancestors lived well lives, and that it's in your bloodline to live well, and you know how to live well. Because a lot of these new diseases and viruses that we're dealing with, we need to, have a balance of both traditional and modern medicine that can help us.
Ask those questions, because it's important for that journey that we're on. And if we don't know what we need to do to change our lives, to help strengthen our spirit, take on that health journey, we have to ask those questions. We have to know and understand what we're dealing with. We need to understand how to deal with the illness that we're dealing with. But we also have to have that level of knowledge and information so that we're not fearful. We're able to use that courage I mentioned to take those steps forward. What are some of those, supports and resources we need to bring in to help us?
They need to be brave enough to ask questions and to share with one another.
We can ask for help from our healthcare team to understand, because we are here for our communities and our people.
And as I think about your liver and my liver, it's something that's so delicate and so precious that we have a responsibility to look after our body, especially our liver, so that we can be there to contribute back to our communities, so that we can live productive lives happy, healthy lives and be role models to our children by living a healthy life physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
And I was an athlete and I played hockey and like a lot of other competitive sports. It was really about like physical. Now that I've gotten older, it's really about like looking at it even just from that perspective of the medicine wheel and how it's holistic, it's all aspects. I really just realized how important like your mental and emotional wellness is and how that's just as important as being physically well.
The journey of, going to speak and telling my story has been part of that full circle. And now I'm working at Indigenous Recovery Coach Program, working with addictions and working with the people that, I used to be at that spot before, and just telling them that it's okay, I had it too, and you don't have to be ashamed.
Just accept it. Don't start blaming yourself or shaming yourself. It's here, you deal with it, and you can deal with it, and then you could just move forward. Don't look back. It should be just like going to the doctor for a cold or a cut on your hand, and this is just another health condition that can be treated.
If you're shy and you don't want nobody to know, then make an appointment with your doctor or go speak to a counselor. I think it's just taking that first step, whatever feels comfortable for you.
From getting the treatment for my Hep C to now has just changed my life 110%.
We don't have to run or hide anymore. We don't have to use drugs, alcohol, gambling to mask those fears. We need to return to our traditional teachings and to confront the past and lay the past to rest.
Just getting that understanding that you can get better and it is curable and it's not the end of the world.
And that's really what it is, just having my life back.
Being sober, I realized that so much good stuff has happened to me.
The future is just so bright and awesome for us as First Nation people. I encourage anybody to connect with people who are out there, to establish a community with people who are willing to help you. And there's nothing that you should fear from this treatment. There are no side effects that I had. I've been cured, and I have my whole life ahead of me.
We can enjoy this moment, this day, and to live in harmony, knowing that everything is alive and vibrant.
Really seeking good medicine in my life and finding good medicine that really I can use and bring that into my life and into like my heart and my spirit. And dancing has been some really, really good medicine for me that has helped me in just like movement and food and water and, even your thoughts, just all those things really, really just are good medicine, and it really contributes into your overall wellness.
We are never alone. We're always protected, that our ancestors are always walking with us, beside us. Look forward so that we can teach the future generation about the importance of our health and how we need to look after our bodies and how precious life is.
Wellness is a process of finding balance through connections to knowledge, to community, and to our sacred ways. Moving forward in a good way to share our wellness story with others and the next generations.
I think that this provides a reflection for our planet outside and the planet inside. You know, the liver is an extraordinary part of our organism. Our organism is an ecosystem, and we ourselves are in an ecosystem. So let's be good outside and be good inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Our next film, Amandia, Overcoming Indifferences, Can Save the World by FAO Bolivia, which is the plural national state of Bolivia, is nominated for our Next Generation Award. Amandia is a teenage girl of a Guarani in origin from Bolivia, living in the city with her family. One day, while rummaging through her belongings, she finds a letter from her grandmother that reminds her of the shared joy in harvesting and gathering food from the biodiversity of their Chacao region, a plot of land where they cultivated their own sustenance.
Upon reading this letter, Amandia recalls the promise that she made to her abuelita, to her grandmother, to never give up on her dreams. And in that moment, she realizes that she lives in a city facing both environmental and food crises. And the essential part of her promise was to not be defeated by adversity. Filled with coraje, with courage, she decided to embark on a journey across the vast Bolivian landscape, carrying with her the seeds inherited from her abuelita, from her grandmother, in the efforts to restore the diversity of life.
Ooh, this is gonna be like a good hero's journey story.
I love me a good hero's arc.
Querida, estaba pensando en esas veces que me venías a visitar cuando eras chiquita y tu mamá no trabajaba tanto. ¿Te acuerdas? Venías corriendo y me besabas y te ibas directo al Chaco. Ahí pasábamos todo el día trabajando con tus primas y luego no querías dormir. Te quedabas conmigo hasta tarde ayudando a pelar y moler los maíces, el mistol, el nogal, el algarrobo. Hasta los separabas por colores. ¿Qué te vas a acordar tanto tiempo que no vienes, siempre pegada al celular? Ay, hijita, no solo tú te has perdido. Ya nadie quiere venir a ayudar con el Chaco. Cada vez está más chiquita la parcela y un día va a estar vacía. Pero ¿qué les importa? Ya nadie quiere saber de dónde viene la comida. Solo importa que todo esté listo, ya no más. Ay, ya nadie sabe comer. Todos estamos cada vez más gordos y enfermos. Ya nadie piensa en su vecino, en su comunidad. Ya nadie cuida a los animales, a los ríos, a los bosques, a la tierra. Nos estamos llenando de basura. Nos importa menos conocer sobre el pasado, que es nuestro futuro también. Por eso vivimos mal. Te imagino de grande enseñando a hacer el bien desde donde uno se encuentre, a cuidar a su prójimo, a los animales, a la naturaleza. Ay, mamita, yo sé que ya no vamos a poder vivir juntas, pero no por eso te vas a quedar sin hacer tanta cosa linda que me contabas. Por eso le he pedido a tu mamá que guarde este encargo hasta que seas jovencita. Vas a ver, te vas a acordar todito. Hay semillas del árbol de nogal, de algarrobo, de guayabilla, de sahuinto, de guapurú. Hay todo lo que había en nuestro Chaco y más. Hay grano de maíz morado, semilla de la palmera de janchicoco de los valles, de chirimoya crespa y almendra chiquitana de Santa Cruz, hasta cacao y azaí y esas cosas que en la Amazonía crecen. Con eso, quiero que vayas al Chaco un día y lo hagas florecer otra vez. Tu mamá no te ha debido contar, pero a mí me gustaba mucho viajar. He conocido todo el país, he conocido mucha gente y he aprendido harto de cada lugar. Cada uno es especial. Eso quiero para ti. Quisiera verte viajar y aprender, e enseñar e inspirar a otros con esa curiosidad como hacías aquí. Así te veo, recordándole a la gente lo que es vivir con valores, lo que es vivir haciendo el bien desde donde se encuentre. Pero que no te dé flojera, pues. Ya te puedo ver conociendo nuevos lugares, haciendo sonreír a la gente, así con tu picardía y solidaria como eres, sabes cómo hacerte querer. Va a ser difícil, no te equivoques. La gente es tosuda, a veces no te quieren escuchar. Peor si eres joven, peor si eres mujer. Un día te vas a encontrar con alguien y le vas a dar algo que le va a cambiar la vida. Y esa persona no se va a olvidar. Vas a ver, cuando haces el bien por alguien, es como plantar una semilla, regar y cuidar una planta, un árbol. Si la tierra es fértil y el bosque está cuidado, esa semilla va a germinar, crecer, florecer y dar frutos. ¿Qué crees que va a pasar cuando esos frutos vuelvan a la comunidad? Más gente va a plantar más semillas. Así nomás es, mamita. En la vida es igual que en nuestra chacra. El bosque y la naturaleza nos dan lo que nosotros damos. Tienes que tener paciencia. Toma tiempo y trabajo recuperar nuestra biodiversidad. Que tu espíritu no desfallezca, mamita. Aunque te topes con esos egoístas que solo piensan en llenar sus bolsillos, esos que no respetan los ciclos de la tierra, la explotan, la matan de sed, la agotan y la dañan, esos que por robar nuestros más preciados tesoros están dispuestos a atentar contra la biodiversidad. Hay cosas únicas y maravillosas en esta tierra. Tenemos que esforzarnos por volver a vivir en armonía con la naturaleza. Al final te vas a dar cuenta que siempre vale la pena hacer el esfuerzo. Lo que entregas al mundo siempre vuelve. Por eso, cuando la gente se acuerde lo que sabíamos los abuelos, lo importante que es amar, ayudar, devolver a la tierra y respetarnos los unos a los otros, ahí de verdad es cuando vamos a volver a vivir en armonía y paz. La gente se ha olvidado lo que es amar de verdad, lo que es agradecer, lo que es respetar a la tierra, a las plantas, a los árboles, a los animales. Las semillas que plantes van a germinar y dar frutos. Como no, si tu abuela te ha enseñado, igual que si ya le me ha enseñado a mí. Hijita, aunque ya no te vaya a ver, no me queda duda de que tú vas a ver cambiar el mundo a tu paso. Los actos de bondad echan raíces en todas direcciones y como en la primavera, las raíces producen nuevos árboles. Te amo mucho, mamita. Que nunca se te olvide de dónde vienes ni a dónde quieres ir. Tu abuelita y tocaya, Amandilla.
All right, guys, it's break time. Go up your popcorn, get you some water, go to the baño. You have about 5 minutes until our next series of films starts. We'll see you then.
Welcome back. We are now jumping into our first Indigenous Ally Chat with B'nai Khaled. Throughout this week, we'll be setting the stage for the films that come with these chats between Indigenous y Latino leaders on storytelling, heritage, and allyship between our communities. We will discuss the work that we as leaders are doing and how work overlaps with Latinidad, Latino identities, and how communities can be allies to each other.
Such a wonderful chat. Thank you so much, B'nai, for leading that.
And next up is Wanietu Wopapi, Winter Count by Richard Steinberger, nominated for Best Documentary. Welcome to the Cheyenne River Youth Project. Come with us into the heart of our circle, where you will meet our kids, parents and elders, artists and partners. You'll discover why art is central to the Lakota culture. You'll experience how we are reclaiming spaces in our community. You'll learn how we are revitalizing our language, ceremonies, and lifeways through our own contemporary version of the Winter Count. And you'll share our joy as we bring to life our stories, our truths, messages for our people.
Kind of amazing when you think about it. Here we are, located in the center of 3 million square acres. We have to drive 2.5 hours to get anywhere, 3 hours to the largest big city. You know, I think we've embraced that. It's our life, but there was a time in our history when people told us how to dress and pray and what to eat, and you know, you need to be a certain way, where I think it's empowering to know that now the reservation is the stronghold. It's where we come home, and we know that when we cross that river. Wanietu translated means winter count. And winter count was a practice of Lakota people where we recorded our stories and our histories. So a long time ago they would have done that maybe on the walls of inside caves or whatever. Eventually they were telling stories on buffalo robes. But you know, it is true. Art isn't something we talk about. It's all culture. It's not art, it's just culture. And we're just doing it in a more contemporary way. We're expressing ourselves in a little bit more interesting way, I think. And that's through bringing graffiti culture. It's storytelling like we would have done because we're an oral society. We go from year to year to year, but we're just using graffiti art to do it. So we haven't changed. It's not art, it's still just culture and storytelling and messages to our people, and you know, be strong, you know, be empowered.
I think on the face of it, people might at first see graffiti as
this sort of outside contemporary type of art, but really when you look at even just basic adornment, you know, the way that clothes were painted or a teepee was painted, they're just expressions of that world that we're reflecting. And so to have graffiti art in the community, really to me it's just as similar as painting a teepee. Really, it's just the continuation of a tradition of adornment, storytelling, reflecting the culture. It's just, instead of it being quill work or beadwork or painting on a hide, and we can kind of do an extension of that same thing by being able to sit with youth, shake up some spray cans and, you know, paint words and reinforce language and culture in that way.
Art has always been a huge part of our communities. I mean, if you look at traditional regalia or clothing or housing, I mean, these things are amazing. Museum quality stuff just walking around as everyday wear. And I think that for Native youth today, having art programs is huge because there's a lot of different ways for people to express their emotions and express their feelings and express themselves. I think giving them more tools in their emotional, educational toolbox, you know, just gives them that many more chances to, you know, have a good childhood and become, you know, better adults and healthier parents so that they can, you know, again, break these cycles that we're dealing with in our communities.
My favorite part about the art internship is the way you can express yourself with the art. I enjoy coming back because we do several different ways of express ourselves. Some days we do watercolors, some days we do acrylics, some days we just do free creative writing, and it's really fun.
What I like about this art internship is that art in general, you can put so much emotion or like have a story in it. If you have like a hard time talking about your feelings and stuff, it's a good way to get them out.
I think it was like wonderful and like peaceful. Like it really like takes you to somewhere, like your imagination, to where you can paint what you see in your imagination.
I have 4 kids at home that I take care of. Now all 4 of them have been through the programs, and if they didn't have that to do, they'd just be sitting at home. Especially with my son and my daughter, they did some classes here and they would come home so excited about the different activities they did, the different pictures they drew or the foods they cooked, and wanted us to try the stuff they made here. So it just gives them another avenue to grow and become a better person.
I think one of the most important parts about the work here at CRYP is the arts. I think that the evolution of the arts program here is what I'd like to see all over, not just this country, but quite honestly, globally. And the reason I say that is I've been working with and around a lot of different Native nonprofits in my life, and I know that we don't have arts in a silo in the work that we do. You know, it's part of our lifeways, it's part of our culture, and there's a reason for that. But the systems that have been set up to fund the arts, the systems that have been set up to structure nonprofit organizations don't often allow for things like Red Can Graffiti Jam, for the different kinds of arts programming going on here. And somehow Julie has been able to cast that aside and say, we're gonna do this the way we need to so that we can really let arts thrive, that we can honor arts as part of our culture here, and that we can think differently about what the role of arts is, not just as arts, but in youth development, in leadership, in healing.
I'm an artist of a different kind. You know, I like to create spaces. So, you know, where there's a really great phrase out there right now called creative placemakers, I've been one my entire life, and I didn't realize it, and I hesitated calling myself a creative placemaker, but I am. What I love is that those early days at the Cheyenne River Youth Project, or the Maine, as we fondly refer to it, those days taught us what we wanted to be when we grow up. It's kind of interesting that, you know, 33 years later, we've evolved to a campus. You know, we've been growing and adding these different pieces. So we added the new Maine in 1999. We added the new Teen Center in 2006. We added the garden in 2000. We added the Waniatu-Wawapi Art Park in 2014. 2014 or 2015. So these are all pieces, and each one of those pieces has so much potential. But in the end, I mean, I always tend to simplify everything, which is I call it youth programming. It really is just youth programming. We're just trying to create the spaces so that our young people can go further with it. They can take it farther than they've ever wanted to go or imagine. And it started with an art studio in the Chocatawichoni Teen Center, which we outgrew right away. I had learned about graffiti and had met some graffiti writers and started to understand a little bit about that culture. And I thought that would be amazing for kids, because kids love graffiti, and sometimes it's vandalism, but wouldn't it be awesome if we could take that energy with the spray paint and create something really beautiful? So that's what we did. We started with a few graffiti classes. We brought artists in. Kids were learning can control. And then I thought, wouldn't it be great to have an art park?
I think it was very shocking because in the beginning, I think the idea was to build one wall was the very first idea that I remember. And then I remember there was a conversation where they're like, oh, you know, your next task is you're gonna build an art park. Yeah, we were very surprised and we were kind of laughing and we're like, hey, what happened to the one wall? I think with anything, this whole program just pretty much took a life of its own, and you know, it'll continue to grow.
What I loved about the artwork that was being created in the park is that it was often a reflection of what was happening currently. If there was something that was involving racism, sometimes we saw those messages play out. If it was about the power of Lakota people, we saw that play out in the art park. If we saw, you know, something about missing and murdered Indigenous women, that was also a message that could be found in our art park. So the messages were big, and some of them were just very local, but they were always messages. So that's why naming the art park Wainia to OHOP was so perfect. We went from, oh, let's draw us on some paper to let's paint buildings. We kind of made a big jump, but it was a natural jump and it made sense. And I think that people didn't know what a graffiti jam was. And here we are trying to bring a jam to Eagle Butte, South Dakota. I think it was risky, but I also feel that Cheyenne River Youth Project does risky work anyway, because we understand in order to reach kids, you know, you have to go where they are. You know, when you just know in your heart something's right or it's the right thing to do. That's how I felt about Red Can.
I think kids like graffiti for a lot of different reasons. I always liked it when I was a kid, and my parents did not like that I liked it. I think it's loud, it's vibrant. You're not supposed to be doing it, so it's appealing. You know, there's that kind of draw. But I think it's, for a lot of people, it's about claiming something that's yours or saying I'm here and taking ownership of that.
So when you put art on the exterior walls, you really send a message to the community, which is really important because then it gives ownership to the community that I am here, and they can respond in more of a positive way because they see within their community images that they relate to.
Well, graffiti in the modern era was born of the youth. It is a true form of expression that doesn't have censorship, that there's no right or wrong way to do. Sure, there are rules, but rules are meant to be broken. Rules are meant to change over time and evolve. It was created by youth. And so it's universally a fluid language. And I think youth can pick up on that.
And like last night when they walked in, like the hugs were so genuine and so beautiful. And I just felt like my world was right again.
Well, the first Red Can, was a far cry from what it is today. It was so much smaller. It's grown exponentially since then. And to come to where, Indigenous people are so open and accepted, and to be in the community with other Indigenous people was so eye-opening. I don't think there's been a year where I've had a dry eye at this event. Just coming back here, being in touch with, my people, and being welcomed, and being able to do the things that I love and share that art with the Indigenous people here, it was just life-changing, and there was no way I couldn't continue to come back.
I first heard about Red Can, I think about 5 years ago, and I kind of just started following the social media posts, and I was just blown away. So I was like, man, here's the res and all this amazing artwork, but then these top-notch graffiti artists and style writers, it really just blew my mind. So to see that top-level work being made here, it just caught my attention, and I fell in love just as an observer. To be able to participate in Red Can as somebody who's Lakota, it's immeasurable for me, because really on the one level it's a homecoming, so to be able to be with my people is just an important thing in and of itself. To hear the language, to have the opening prayers, the smudging, that's just a familiar part of life, but then to have that incorporated as like kicking off the day to spray paint, it's incredible.
Red Can is one of these moments that you feel like you need to be part of to really understand the magic that goes on here. You can just feel what it's like to come together, and to come together with the kind of purpose that Red Can has. There's just this natural creativity that comes out of how people come together out here. I mean, the minute I stepped foot and had to start helping out in a graffiti park, I just felt that, and I'm just really excited to be part of it finally, and I really feel like I'm experiencing one of the most important foundations to the work here at CRYP.
The guys got here and they started putting up their mural and sketching it out, and what's interesting about it is people were coming by last night, they were honking, they were loving it, they were so excited. They embrace it now. It's a part of who we are.
There was a lot of questions about why were we painting and what were we doing, and now it's like, oh, it's Red Can, it's that CRYP event. It's, everyone's driving around and looking and honking and cheering you on while you paint. So it's cool. We've seen it from the start, and it's awesome to see it grow.
This year we took these dilapidated apartment buildings that have been vacated for years, and we got permission from tribal government because they're a very strong partner of ours, and we asked, can we paint this building? And then it's one central location, it's just one piece, it's just one gathering point for all of it, and I think it's really exciting. Of course it remains to be seen, I don't know yet, we'll see, but I'm excited, and all the artists are there, they're not spread out all over town. So I think the camaraderie and the bonds are going to get even stronger, which I'm super excited about.
I mean, the wall was pretty intimidating. I think it might have been the largest one I've ever painted and participated in. So that was kind of like, all right, this is much bigger than the photo. You get the little picture and you're like, okay, this isn't too bad. And you stand next to it and you're like, oh, wow.
I think one of the biggest things that I've seen as a change with Red Can over the years that I've participated has been just that emphasis on more language, more culture being put into the murals. And what's amazing to me too is that if you are familiar with graffiti artists or style writers, we kind of tend to be people who promoting the name, promoting your AKA is sort of the bottom line, it's what you do. But I think everyone that comes here knows they can kind of shed that in favor of what the community kind of yearns for. Being able to incorporate language into the murals is integral. I think it's part of what makes the community happy, but it also it naturalizes that idea of language being an everyday thing. And then for me personally, it's helpful because, on both sides of my family, we're survivors of the boarding school experience, where a lot of that language is taken away from us. So being able to paint, to have people come up and discuss, just a single word and what it means and how to pronounce it. That's huge. It's a real big reconnection for culture, not just with myself, but I think people in the community as well.
Artists are the keeper of the history. They're the keeper of the stories. And they give back to the community what they don't know that the soul has basically longed for or lost.
I think it's nice that the Lakota language is incorporated in the murals sometimes, because it not only does it give us a chance to see our language depicted, but it opens up a conversation with our kids.
We've had multiple reactions of people coming and saying, this word, this is how it affects me, this is a story that goes along with that theme or that character. Many of these people have grown up with these stories and these words, and for them to be able to come over and talk to us about something that we're doing and then educate us and empower us is just very cool.
When we're running around town painting these murals, we're normalizing something that doesn't always happen. We're creating this environment where subconsciously children see adults that are native, that are successful, professional artists, and that plants a seed.
So there was always a lot of children just coming by, just looking at the art and being fascinated by it. And I always took my time to stop what I was doing to talk to them, explaining exactly what I was doing and how it made me feel. And if they would try it, if I can use a can of spray paint to create art and show that as a creative force, why not show children to do the same thing too, and then instead of cogniting it with something negative, do it something positive. And they can always go back and say, this is what I did, this is my part, this is my section, and I contributed to it, so that's always an honor.
I think coming here, meeting us artists, seeing us doing murals, knowing that some of us have made careers out of this, I think it helps empower the youth to do something that they love and that they're passionate about. And to have the opportunity to come to some place like CRYP, have murals being done live in front of you, meet artists, have art classes, and have these new tools and these new opportunities available to you can help show kids that your passion and that your love for art can also be turned into a career. And hopefully it gives them a new direction.
I think the biggest thing for us at CRYP is that we pay attention. We really pay attention to what's happening. What are the kids saying? What are they doing? What did they create? Everything we've done is because the kids have told us to, in a way. We've seen incredible artwork being created. We've seen so much, and I just think, oh wow, these kids are amazing. Well, we need to get them engaged in art. We need to evolve this art program.
Investing in young people is one of the most important things that you can do. And unfortunately, this country doesn't put enough emphasis on its art programs in general. So to have a groundbreaking for a new community center here just dedicated to youth and their art, I think it's laying a really important foundation.
Very excited, but I'm not surprised. I think that Julie, she's a force, and she's always trying to push for bigger and better and try to achieve the things that some would think weren't achievable.
You get to a point and you're like, this is not enough. If you're going to offer a truly evolved program, the kids need to have their own space. So now we're going to be building an art center, and it will fall under the umbrella of the Institute, and it will offer some place for kids to make music, record, photography. There will be places to make clothes like regalia, ribbon skirts. There will be a place for Red Can.
Kids, their most basic needs as they're learning is that they are being heard. And whether it's, verbally or through their art, having that space and knowing, even though it's a new building and it's an extension of what we already built here, from the main to the teen center, and now, you know, this new building coming along, I think it's just more safer spaces for them to create in.
The ceremony was emotionally heavy. It was a lot to take in. You know, I've never really been to a groundbreaking, so I wasn't really sure like what to expect. And it was cool to see like the kids helping out with it too, and you know, because it's kind of what it's for. So yeah, it was a lot. Children have, you know, all that energy, and so to give them a positive place for them to kind of harness that energy and kind of put it forward, I think that only good things can come from that. Yeah, and I'm just happy to be doing my small part in all of it.
There's all these statistics about how much more successful youth are in terms of things like high school persistence and college persistence with arts as a real part of their programming if they've received it regularly. Art is such an amazing opportunity for expression and development of self-identity through that kind of expression. I think there's so many possibilities for that through the Arts Center, so I'm very excited to see what happens.
I think this is going to be a great starting point, because who knows, people might go off to art school, they may go off to law school, but this is going to give people that space to enjoy creativity and to be able to be creative, and that's the starting point for like so many career paths. Young people have a better perspective on the way that the world is going and the way that it's unfolding, and we need to listen to them if we're going to have a place in this world. And you know, in turn, you know, I think it's part of that 7 generations thinking where we listen to young people so that those 7 generations from now, there's something good for them, you know, that we're laying groundwork for.
I think that what it means in order to have a community center that's giving kids the chance to do art and how that impacts them later on in life isn't always just about making the art, but it's also about becoming a creative thinker in whatever it is that you're passionate in. And it teaches kids and adults to look at things from different perspectives and apply their voice to it, apply a different way of problem solving. And so I don't think that every kid has to be worried about whether they're going to necessarily become an artist, but enjoy the process of being taught how to think differently and to think outside of the box.
What's happening here and why this groundbreaking of this art center means so much is it really is a beacon for the rest of our native nonprofits and our communities to think big with programs like CRYP, and to really help communicate that to their funders and their stakeholders so that they're not just thinking about arts in this underfunded small silo. It belongs as a central part of the work, especially for our young people, and I think CRYP with this groundbreaking is really showing the rest of the country what that means.
Having a facility, a new facility to house that program is so important, because if you look at Native communities, you know, the reservation system, boarding schools, you know, forced assimilation, language eradication, these are all things that the intent was to make Indian people and Indian youth specifically feel humiliation and embarrassment about who they were, who their people were, and what their community was. And when you have a new facility like this that people can look at and be proud of in the community, so you're proud of the facility, you're proud of the programming, it reverses those impacts. So then you have youth who are proud of their community, proud of their family, proud of their tribe, and proud of themselves, and that will make the difference in their life outcomes.
Just given the opportunity to hold a spray can or acrylic paint or go to a museum or have adults that genuinely care about me that aren't part of my immediate family sends that message that I matter. So when it came to being a part of this with Julie, that's the legacy that she's creating, is that these children matter.
I still remember every child that I might have lost for whatever reason. I think about them because they're part of how we got here today. I remember them, and I continue to think, well, I need to keep moving forward for them. If I do it for anybody, I need to do it for them. We hear a lot about in Lakota culture, there is no word for art because art is culture and culture is art. So I love that idea that, you know, we can't put what we're doing here into this one phrase of being artistic, because when we're artistic, we're cultural. We're revitalizing, our language, our culture, our ceremonies, all of that, all of those pieces play out through the art that we're creating. And I think that's kind of magical.
Putting art on surfaces is, especially, I don't know, like the building we were painting 2 days ago or 3 days ago was, you know, just kind of looked run down, and, you know, it's tough to drive by that and like, this is where I am. But when you have a mural on there or a picture, it's easier to engage with that whole area around you. And I think it also lets you see the potential for certain things that you might not otherwise.
The public is engaging and people are seeing more people out walking about, and it feels like a safer place with all the color and the filled space where there was just this void for something to hide, and now something actually lives there and it's vibrant and it breathes life.
Just the color alone changes the mindset. It makes things look precious. What is the first thing that humans do when they come into a space? They decorate it. They make it look like themselves. It's reflected. It reflects the community. And so when you take something that's dilapidated like that with broken windows and overrun grass and you cover it with artwork that represents the people and have especially the youth, the most marginalized and the bottom of the tier, contribute to that part that's going to be permanent or a staple in the community. It shows that you're invested in them and that they matter.
You talk about racial equity and social justice. Those are things that we've been talking about for our people and our young people for decades, at least as long as I have been involved. We're just doing it through youth programming and kids and reminding them of their power and who they are as Lakota people. I just think all the things that we're doing is all so central to their healthy development. I still imagine what we can do for our kids and our community. Like, I still believe absolutely that we can go to the next level and the next step.
I'm getting up there in age, I don't like to admit it, but it's nice to see people coming to the community. Rather than trying to save us, they're doing something. They're giving a hand up, not a handout. Well, it feels good to have some help.
I believe so strongly in sovereignty and the right to make your own decisions and to solve your own problems. That is our responsibility as grown-ups, as our responsibility to the seventh generation. That is what we should be doing. But yes, do we need support from outside? Of course we do. Building relationships is the most important thing, I think, that has brought us to where we are.
I mean, at this point, it's like Red Can is a family, and, you know, this community feels like family too. It's nice to be able to use a skill set that I've developed over the years for something other than myself.
You know, they've pulled out a part of me that, I'm going to start to tear up, but a part of me that I didn't know existed. And it's something that you have to experience. So, you know, my love for this community grows every year because of what it does for me. And that's the thing that keeps bringing me back. So.
What I feel keeps me coming back is you get that spiritual essence, that feeling of caring, and you interact with people that you don't see on a regular basis, or you even know them or met them for the first time, and they feel like family. And this platform, it gives that sense of community where you feel safe, that you can share secrets with a stranger.
In the end, I think there's a great love for humanity. I think there's a great love for friendship, and I think that you can't ask for more. It's so beautiful.
That was truly such a heartwarming film. I love seeing that the Lakota folk, or the Lakota community overall, are coming together and reclaiming their identity, reclaiming their space, especially from so many hundreds of years, you know, of colonization and just, what are those schools called that they sent like the children to?
Yeah, those are pretty colonial. Those are Indian schools.
Yeah. So like pretty much being able to, you know, reclaim the next generation, reclaiming all of the things that they've been so suppressed from for all these years.
I think that that's really critical. Everything from their culture to their ways of knowing and their language. I think that that's going to be a really great way moving forward for them to recapture who their identity, which they've been closed off to.
We'd love to know what your reaction was like to this film. So put in some emojis, you can even comment on it. It's all down there. We want to see it.
And next we have our PLC, Por la Creación, Public Land Panel Discussion. You're going to join us for our PLC, Por la Creación faith leaders who are working diligent to protect God's creation. They will be diving into their experiences, lessons learned, and community efforts to proteger public lands for the Latino community. For some of our featured panelists, Moses Borjas, Senior Pastor for Living Covenant Church, Mike Gomez, Pastor of Calvary Chapel, Doctoras Luz Vera, from Pastor of Iglesia Cristiana Alianza e Iglesia Poder de Dios, Oscar Velasquez, Pastor of Fuente de Vida Interna, Claudio Lupides, Pastor of Temple El Salvador de la Asamblea de Dios,
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks to our speakers, such a great conversation by our PLC members as well as the state of Colorado. Super appreciate that.
At the intersection of every type of winning campaign is a multitude of different voices. And I'm glad that we got to hear them.
Yeah, likewise. During this break, you're also welcome to go to our virtual tables that we have. Just click inside your AirMeet and meet some other people of color who are interested in similar storytelling ideas.
And maybe have some colorful discussions. Time to learn and grow, everybody. You got 5 minutes.
All right, guys, Day 1 Festival vibes. What's good? In case you didn't know, we actually have some really cool OHOP swag. You can go check it out on the link, which one of our members, our little team members, is gonna put in the chat.
But we have really cute swag this year. You can get yourself a little tote, you can get yourself a little shirt, a little long sleeve, like a little suéter para la casa. It's super cute. It's actually designed by a Latina artist, and it's like a little Earth holding a video camera, you know, because we love Earth. We love what she does for us. So go check it out, help support Hispanic Access Initiative so that we can continue doing really cool things like this. So next up we have Cosmo Visions by Marcilia Calvacante Barros.
In southern Bahia, several indigenous women invite reflection, sharing their mythology, ancestry, and the paths of living well.
Então, se eu estou num lugar onde tem vida, você está vendo tudo aqui ao redor, então aqui é um lugar sagrado. O divino está dentro de mim e aonde eu vou, ele vai comigo. E quando você tem essa espiritualidade forte, quando você zela dela, quando você cuida, então você tem liberdade, então você é livre. Porque por mais que escravize a matéria, o espírito é livre.
O mundo indígena é um mundo cheio de complexidades que o mundo lá fora talvez não entenda essas realidades. Essa questão de pertencimento, esse sentimento de pertencer a uma comunidade, de estar ligado a um povo, é diferente.
Um povo que tem autonomia, um povo que sabe da sua origem, que sabe valorizar seus ancestrais, que sabe valorizar tudo aquilo que a terra dá. É um povo que se mantém em pé por conta da espiritualidade.
Então, para a gente tem assim um respeito muito grande, né, com nossos ancestrais, os nossos antepassados, os nossos encantados, que vêm nos orientar, nos dizer que caminho podemos seguir.
E a gente cultuamos os nossos encantados, que é uma coisa que está além do universo. É uma coisa que as pessoas não conseguem mensurar, as pessoas conseguem pensar até ali. Mas depois dali, como que será? Como é que tem essa dimensão? Aí a gente tem a dimensão dos sonhos, que é o melhor portal, o melhor caminho que a gente segue.
Nasci na aldeia dos pássaros, quando o mundo era coberto de mar. Ensinei às mulheres e aos homens que da casca dos meus ovos se faz remédio para veneno de cobra. E que quando eu canto, é para anunciar o viajante que chega. Tem gente que ouve e tem medo. Diz que é coisa do diabo. Ah, o diabo é que o branco trouxe quando veio para cá.
A Cauã, quando ela sobrevoava na comunidade, que chama de terreiros também, né? Quando ela sobrevoa, ela está protegendo aquele lugar.
Quando a gente vê a Cauã cantando, dando o grito, o grito dele na natureza, nós indígenas diz, vai acontecer algo na comunidade. A Cauã está anunciando.
Mensageira de chuva e das almas, caçadora de cobra e protetora do caçador que imita meu canto para se proteger dela. Eu sou isso tudo. Mas o que eu mais gosto de ser é livre. Eu sou Macauã, Cauã, ó Cauã, a Cauã. Eu mando no ar. E o ar é a estrada da voz. E a voz carrega a palavra que tem força. A história que a mãe conta pros filhos. A reza que a avó ensina pros netos. E mais, a voz traz o canto e o grito. Eu canto a voz da mulher guerreira, para que ninguém esqueça de onde veio. E para que as crianças saibam que não estão só.
Por falar que as mulheres que já morreram são entoadas assim no canto da Cauã, essa história se deturpou no Nordeste brasileiro. Quando a Cauã canta, eles falam que é um canto de agouro, porque relacionou o canto, né, de mulheres com o canto da Cauã. Mas isso só lá, pro lado do sertão, para as comunidades indígenas, que é o que interessa pra gente, a nossa história. A Cauã é um canto de força, é um canto que traz o som daquelas mulheres que já morreram naquele lugar, e é um canto de proteção, que as crianças podem caminhar nesse lugar, né?
Quem aprende a escutar a voz da mulher guerreira nunca tá só.
Nascer mulher nesse país é um desafio. Mas você nascer mulher indígena é um desafio dobrado.
Eu acho que as mulheres pensam de uma forma diferente assim dos homens, têm um contato maior com a terra e no sentido assim de cuidar e de cuidar do outro como um todo, né? Então assim, dentro de algumas comunidades a gente percebe que as mulheres elas ocupam um espaço que é um espaço importante para a comunidade.
As nossas mulheres têm uma atuação muito especial, grande, espiritualmente falando, dentro da minha aldeia, né? Elas são dotadas, né? Recebem o dom de estar trazendo a comunicação diretamente com os encantados. Isso só a mulher é capaz de fazer isso.
Eu acredito que as mulheres têm uma força e uma espiritualidade muito maior. Eu acredito que elas pensam mais na coletividade. E talvez isso seja de nossa própria essência, talvez da própria espiritualidade das mulheres, de talvez abarcar mais essa questão coletiva. Então, talvez pensar mais no outro. Eu acredito que se tivesse mais mulheres no poder, mais mulheres governantes, mais mulheres em cargos de decisão, pudéssemos ter, né, uma abertura maior para essa coletividade.
As mulheres não indígenas, em comparação com as mulheres indígenas, eu acredito que quando sobem ao poder, vamos supor assim, quando ocupam um espaço que eu acredito que é de... Vamos supor, sei lá, um espaço que ela está no comando, eu acho que elas acabam se comportando muito como os homens, sabe? A sociedade impõe que essas mulheres sejam mais duras, sabe? E acaba perdendo aquilo que justamente faz com que as pessoas... com que agregue, sabe? Mais pessoas. Mas eu acredito, assim, que as mulheres indígenas, elas não se preocupam muito, sabe? Com isso, em ocupar esses espaços. Normalmente, elas gostam de ficar meio que por trás das coisas, sabe? Mesmo que a gente sabe que elas estão à frente, né? Que elas que mandam, que elas que estão falando ali pro esposo como é que deve agir, como é que deve fazer as coisas.
A questão do papel da mulher na história, que sempre foi violada, sempre foi apagada. E hoje a gente está mostrando a resistência que as mulheres trazem.
Para algumas pessoas, ainda, a fala do homem ainda tem mais peso do que a fala da mulher. A gente ouve muito nos eventos que acontecem, os homens falar que as mulheres são as detentoras do conhecimento. Mas a maioria, de modo geral, os homens, eles não credibilizam muito essas mulheres. Então, há um diferencial quando você fala da mulher indígena, que para nós, povo do Pinambá, a mulher direciona muita coisa. Sem as mulheres indígenas, esse movimento não existia. Então, para mim, isso finaliza a participação direta da mulher. Ou seja, temos 15 caciques, mas se não fosse a mulher, esse movimento não existia. E a gente tem que dar nomes e reverenciar essas mulheres. Núbia, Pedrízia, Dona Nivalda, Valdalice, primeira cacique, né? E essas mulheres levantam o movimento.
Durante muito tempo as mulheres não eram ouvidas. E no meu povo, no povo Pataxó, a gente tem uma referência de uma mulher muito forte, que foi a Dona Josefa. Através dela, que o nosso território não foi perdido, que enfrentou também o Estado na época do Fogo de 51. Teve a diáspora do povo Pataxó, e nessa época o povo foi separado, muitos fugiram, foram perseguidos como animais. Então, nessa época, ela foi juntar o povo novamente.
Qual é o direito da mulher indígena e qual é a verdade e qual é a mentira? Porque mulher é uma bicha sofredora. A mulher sofre mais e tudo o povo gosta de castigar a mulher. Agora a mulher, eu quero dizer para as mulheres, se impõe, bote moral, diga eu sou mulher e suspenda a cabeça e não baixa a cabeça. Porque eu sou mulher, nasci mulher, morro mulher e não quero ninguém me pisa, porque eu sou mulher, eu não faço isso porque eu sou mulher, não. Toda mulher tem poder, tem força e pode trabalhar e pode lutar e precisar de um homem sim, parceria, lado a lado.
Minha mãe nasceu na região de Barra Velha, uma região muito violenta, com estupro, né? Eu já venho de uma criação de uma mulher muito forte. Ela enfrentou isso, minha mãe sempre andava com facão. Então ela, mesmo com 12 anos, ela já quase matava um que tentou tirar a roupa dela. Então assim, se um homem nos batesse, a gente não permitisse isso, para que esse ciclo de violência não aumentasse. E a gente faz esse trabalho também nas comunidades, né? De como dar voz a essas mulheres. O que a gente está fazendo agora é empoderar essas mulheres, de a gente fazer esse trabalho de conscientização com as lideranças principalmente.
E hoje o trabalho que eu faço com mulheres, eu não só faço mais só com as mulheres. Eu já faço com os homens também. Porque às vezes alguém diz assim, é encontro de mulheres, não queremos homens. Já eu penso diferente, é encontro de mulheres, mas eu quero homem também no encontro. Porque os homens estão lá para se preparar, ajudar a cozinhar para as mulheres, nós mulheres, a cuidar, está lá também aprendendo a zelar e ouvindo também o que nós mulheres está falando também, que a gente possa educar os nossos companheiros, nossos amigos, né, para que não aconteça o que vem acontecendo, tanta morte né? Tanto assassinato de nossas mulheres, nós mulheres, pelo mal entender do companheiro.
E além do mais, tem as nossas mulheres, que tem uma participação muito grande, de, por exemplo, quando tem o batalhão, que é quando todo mundo se reúne para fazer plantações, para colher, para a comunidade toda, as mulheres estão ali trabalhando, fazendo comida. E elas simplesmente dizem assim, eu quero fazer. Vai da consciência de cada um e todas querem participar.
A gente vive num mundo de trocas. E isso é a maior lição de bem viver. Dinheiro não foi feito para se acumular. Dinheiro foi feito para trocar. Todos os anciões, quando eles vão falar das suas histórias, eles lembram dessa forma de viver, coletivamente, trocando.
Se você for reparar, o cara que tem muita grana, o que eles mais querem é ter uma ilha. E para os mais pobres, né, a gente que trabalha, acaba trabalhando para o sistema, eles fazem a gente entender que, na verdade, a gente vai ter uma vida boa, só que, na verdade, a gente já percebeu, sabe? Que a vida boa é o que a gente tem. E que, na verdade, eles estão querendo isso que a gente tem, sabe? Eles querem dinheiro para eles terem uma vida boa, que é o contato com a natureza de uma outra forma.
Então, a forma de pensar o bem viver, o modelo está aqui. Está na forma que os povos originários vivenciam. Olhar como esses povos originários sobreviveram até hoje, sobrevivem, para começar um novo modelo de gestão. Nós temos vários exemplos dessa filosofia do bem viver. E só convivendo para você perceber a diferença, né? O que está fora no ocidental e o que está dentro é outro mundo.
A maneira de como a gente se organiza. Nós temos o cacique, ele não ganha salário, não ganha um salário para estar ocupando aquele espaço. Nós temos o conselheiro, que é para dar auxílio, o cacique, né? Que também não ganha, é um trabalho totalmente voluntário. Então, são verdadeiramente pessoas assim, que têm um pensamento de dizer, eu vou contribuir de alguma forma. Tem também os trabalhos comunitários, que toda a comunidade se reúne, que se chama batalhão, e plantam, né, para todos. Aquela colheita será de feijão, milho, e a gente vai usar nos dias festivos.
Então, esse entendimento de sociedade, esse entendimento de vivência com a terra, que é exclusivo dos povos indígenas e de outros povos também, dessa vida coletiva, que o capitalismo não se encaixa. Você planta o suficiente para você se manter e para você poder, desse excedente, poder vender. Você não faz essa produção em larga escala. O capitalismo vem desse processo de agressão ao meio ambiente, vem desse processo de acumulação, vem desse processo de destruição.
Nesse momento agora que a gente está vivendo, nesse desmanche dos direitos dos povos indígenas, somos considerados marginais. A gente é jogado à margem, parecendo que a gente não gera nenhum lucro, não gera nenhuma renda, que a gente seria um empecilho para o desenvolvimento do governo, porque não dá oportunidade de outras pessoas mostrar um outro direito de viver, uma outra forma de viver. Quando a gente está aqui, vive dentro da aldeia, a gente consegue tirar um sustento, a gente consegue sobreviver na aldeia, eles acham que isso não é bastante, não é suficiente. Quando você tem uns pescadores, marisqueiros que vivem dali da produção, que conseguem sobreviver, tirar uma renda, eles têm que vir com mega resort e jogar em cima, e empobrecer aquelas pessoas, achando que naquele primeiro momento de botar você como trabalhador, te salvou. Se não salvou, você empobreceu, porque as pessoas poderiam ir lá trabalhar na hora que quer, tem um tempo específico, eles acompanham a maré, eles acompanham o período. A gente aqui tem o nosso tempo de colheita, de plantio, a gente segue isso, a gente tem o nosso tempo.
O povo diz que o índio é preguiçoso, o índio não trabalha, não. O índio, ele tá preservando a vida. Comer, nós comemos um peixe, nós comemos uma junçara, nós pegamos uma fruta na mata, nós plantamos, não empata, nós plantamos um pé de mandioca nos tabuleiros das terras, mas derrubar um nascente para fazer uma roça, não pode. E eu vejo hoje na televisão, chega da vontade de chorar. Eu vejo a Amazônia pegando fogo, só pensando em boi, em gado, e o rio secando, o povo reclamando que não tem água e jogando sujeira dentro do rio. Então, vamos pedir à humanidade para ter dó disso.
Falar de terra indígena não é falar só de terra, sabe? A terra para o indígena não é como a terra é para o branco. A terra para o indígena é a vida. E essa vida não é só a nossa vida, né? Tem todos esses elementos que faz parte da nossa vida. Para um não indígena, eles têm uma casa. E essa casa é a parte mais importante da vida deles, são as casas. Mas as casas são as caixinhas, né? Para o indígena, não. A casa é um território inteiro. Então, a casa da gente é o rio, a casa da gente é a mata, a casa da gente, sabe? É muito mais do que esse espaço. Eu sempre falo, eu tenho a casa na aldeia, eu sempre falo assim, isso aqui é o lugar meio que a gente dorme, sabe? Mas a casa é quando você sai de dentro de casa, né? Que você tem outras coisas ali, você está interagindo, você está ouvindo, está sentindo cheiros. É quando cai a chuva que você, né, fica feliz porque você sabe que vai brotar a vida daquilo tudo, assim. Então, acho que é um pouco disso.
A terra foi para a mão dos brancos. Ficou aqui muita gente, muito índio, no Aquagida, apertado aqui na região. E você sabe que quando está na mão dos fazendeiros, teve muito desmatamento. As árvores grandes foi muito destruída. Se fosse por os índios, hoje você ia encontrar centenários de madeira aí que ia ter. Graças ao nosso pai Tupã e a ajuda dos índios que juntou, se reunimos e estamos na luta pelo território para não acabar o restinho da madeira que tem, né?
Em 82, a comunidade volta a ocupar através das retomadas. Muitas vezes sofria reintegração de posse, né? Era retirado pela polícia, voltava. Então, foi mais de 35 anos a comunidade nesse processo.
E já retomamos nossa comunidade devastada, matas derrubadas, plantio de capim para criatórios de grande porte de gados dos fazendeiros, dos latifundiários. E nós hoje, o que é que estamos sofrendo? Sem água, sem a nossa floresta, a gente pensando em reflorestar para, né, a gente ter essa resposta melhor para o nosso povo, né, para o nosso viver, nosso bem viver.
Na primeira vez que a gente passou o trator para matar o capim, e depois disso que as plantas começaram a nascer, um monte de planta que nascia era planta medicinal, sabe? E era planta que eu conhecia quando eu era pequena, assim. Então, para mim, aquilo ali foi muito forte no sentido de eu falar assim, sabe? As coisas estão vivas, estão aqui. Só precisava de alguém para, sabe, quebrar aquela dormência. Porque o gado é aquela coisa, né? Pisa e eles realmente... É aquela coisa sabe, de tirar, sabe? Tirar a respiração daquelas outras plantas que estão ali. Aí, esse primeiro filme que eu fiz foi Retomar para Existir, né? Que fala dessa relação com a conquista do território, né? E essa é a importância, né? Então, assim, é retomar para existir, retomar a terra para continuar existindo. E depois eu fiz mais 2 filmes. Um foi Caapora, o Chamado das Matas. E Caapora fala desse retorno das entidades, né? A partir do momento que você começa a recuperar esse território.
O pai da mata, a mãe da mata, nesse sentido de que são seres que estão na mata para proteger a mata e desse respeito que a gente tem que ter por ela. Senão ela acaba nos distraindo e fazendo a gente se perder. Eu acredito que existe forças além de nós. Eu acho que existem espíritos e esses espíritos estão em torno de todo mundo.
Se o homem faz mal para a mata, traz mal para ele mesmo. Eu tô aqui para lembrar pro homem. Eu sou a que mora na mata. Caipora. Eu engano quem não respeita a lei da mata.
A identidade sempre esteve presente na minha vida, né? A minha vida inteira, desde criança, assim. Eu nunca tive medo da entidade, que era uma coisa que normalmente as crianças tinham medo, né? Eu me lembro, assim, que teve uma vez que eu fui enganada pela caipora na mata. Então, assim, mas isso nunca me causou espanto, nem uma questão de medo, assim. E lá dentro da comunidade sempre tinha aquela coisa, né? Você vai pra mata, você tem que levar alguma coisa pra caipora, pra não ser enganada. E a minha relação com a entidade sempre foi de aproximação, né? Então, quando eu fiz Caipora, o Chamado das Matas, pra mim, assim, não foi um filme que... Eu sempre falo, não foi um filme, assim, que eu fiz, sabe? Foi um filme que eu fui conduzida, né? Assim, a fazer. Então, os últimos 2 filmes têm essa conexão mesmo de passar e tentar trazer à tona essas questões ambientais, né? Que eu acho que é hoje a minha luta maior, assim.
Daqui eu escuto, olha. A serra, olha. Trator, machado, olha. Tudo levando nas árvores e trazendo boi, vaca, gado. E os outros bichos? E os outros bichos? Hã? E as árvores? E as roças? O homem reclama de praga. E tem praga maior do que o bicho que põe abaixo a mata inteira.
E eles querem mais uma vez destruir a mata, jogar ela no chão, quer mais uma vez perfurar o solo, tirar os minérios. E eles querem, a todo instante, saquear o nosso meio ambiente. E que não é o bastante ou o suficiente para sanar esse desejo desenfreado, que é uma coisa que ninguém consegue entender. Pelo menos eu nunca me explicaram e eu nunca entendi, que levou todos os pau-brasils, levou todos os paus d'asco, levou todos os nossos mognos, levou todas as nossas madeiras de lei e nunca chegou esse desenvolvimento e nunca estão satisfeitos. Estão levando ouro, estão levando minério, estão levando as nossas vidas, levando as mulheres, as crianças, levou-se tudo. E ainda mais estão levando mais, o que é o suficiente para eles.
Aqui mesmo dentro da roça de cacau tinha 3 jequitibá, alto, muito bonito. No pé dele, assim, tinha um pocinho do nascente, que você chegava lá, aquelas baratinhas azul, piaba, nunca secou. Aí quando foi um dia, esse fazendeiro tinha comprado uma herança na mão de uma pessoa e pegaram aqui com a gente. E quando ele chegou lá, quando a gente escutou, quando a gente passou lá no lugar, já tinha derrubado as 3 árvores, foi os 3 jequitibá, muito bem. A fontinha secou. Eu disse, olha gente, experiência para prestar atenção, que é a árvore que segura a água. Quando você tira uma árvore, você acabou com o nascente, que o mato baixo não segura a água, quem segura a água é as árvores. E ele tirou os 3 jequitibá, tá lá seca.
Meu corpo é lugar de matar a sede e a fome, lugar de brincar, lugar de banhar. Meu corpo é casa dos peixes, por minhas costas caminham os barcos dos homens. Aqui é meu mundo de muitos caminhos. Mato a sede e a fome, dou descanso nos meus braços e levo o homem para onde ele quer. Às vezes, para onde eu quero.
Tem a dona das águas, né, que é nossa mãe Iemanjá, que ela é do mar. Mas tem as mães d'água, Oxum, a Janaína, a sereia do mar, né? Que a gente acredita muito, a gente sempre está festejando, joga um barquinho dentro d'água para elas, joga flores e agradece a Deus pelas bênçãos recebidas.
Como toda mãe, tenho muitos nomes pelo mundo e muitas formas, todas as que eu quiser. Sou amante, mãe de peixe, mãe d'água.
Eu me lembro das idas ao mangue com a minha mãe, com a minha tia, quando a gente era criança, e todas as histórias de lendas que eles ficavam contando pra gente não se perder no mangue. Então, essas memórias são memórias que se tornam a vivência e as memórias de um povo, de uma história.
Porque precisamos da água. Quem é que vive sem água? A chuva não está vindo. Por quê? Porque vários lugares você vê aqui, tem dia que chove aqui no pé da serra com uma beleza, mas tem lugar que não chove, porque não tem mata. E nós temos que lutar pelo meio ambiente, lutar pela natureza e pela vida. Temos o Rio de Una, que eu acredito em Deus, nosso Pai Tupã e os encantados, que um dia o povo vai doer na consciência e cuidar dele, que o nascente dele é desmatado, ele passa dentro da cidade de São José das Vitórias, e nós estamos na luta e lutando para ver se eles tiram o esgoto de dentro. Que de certo bem para lá é poluído, mas de certo meio para cá ele é bem bonito, é bem limpo.
Esse aquecimento global vai impedir diretamente o nosso jeito de viver, porque nós precisamos de água para sobreviver. A gente precisa do ciclo da chuva para plantar, e tudo isso está sendo afetado.
Esse meio ambiente de Amazônia queimando as árvores, acabando, e se continuar do jeito que está, não vai ficar vivente, porque nós vamos viver sem água.
Quando o homem envenena a água, fere meu corpo. Quando corta as árvores, me sufoca, mata minhas nascentes e eu adoeço. E a água de beber é ruim ou acaba e meus filhos morrem e não tem mais peixe, nem vida, nem alegria, nem prazer, nem abundância.
Mas por enquanto a gente sabe que Deus, a natureza nos perdoa e é possível a água voltar. É deixar a natureza se regenerar, né? As árvores, os nascentes. Então a gente sabe que a água volta, a natureza nos perdoa. Então se a gente sabe que faz isso, então vamos deixar os ambientes se regenerar, né? Porque aí a gente terá água. É cuidar da água. A água é sagrada, ninguém sabe fazer água.
Eu peço ao nosso Pai Tupã que ele envie os anjos, envie os encantados na cabeça de cada um vivente, não fazer isso, porque a água é vida.
Mas se o homem respeita as árvores, se o homem respeita as águas, se me deixa viver, eu posso parir, parir sem cessar, parir nascentes, peixes, vida, tudo. Se o homem respeita meu corpo, sou sua mãe e sua amante, e me derramo feliz pelo mundo.
A terra é mãe, ela cuida, ela cria.
A minha mãe tinha obrigação de dar de comer aos pássaros da nossa aldeia.
Minha mãe sempre diz que a gente sempre tem que oferecer aquilo que a gente tem de melhor. Então, nas nossas casas, sempre a gente oferece o que a gente tem. Então, assim, você chega em uma casa indígena, ele sempre vai dividir com você aquilo que ele tem.
Eu amarrava um cacho de banana no pé de árvore, de frente à casa. Eu perguntava para ele por quê. Eu não entendia bem por que, no sentido da senhora dar essa alimentação para esse espaço. Para que em nossas comunidades nunca falte o pão de cada dia para nós dar aos nossos filhos, nossos sobrinhos, nossos netos. Então, se a gente alimenta a natureza ela devolve tudo aquilo que a gente dá para ela. Então, é por isso que eu dou de comer aos meus pássaros. Então, era assim, uma coisa muito linda.
Assim, a minha mãe é um exemplo, assim, ela é professora. E aí ela chegou um momento assim que ela falou que ela estava gostando de uma mulher, né? E ela vive hoje com essa mulher.
A minha mãe sempre faz banhos pra gente, sempre pede pra gente fazer algumas coisas também, alguns chás, algumas coisas que possam nos fortalecer espiritualmente também.
Mas a minha mãe, ela preparava medicinas para cuidar de várias pessoas que ela nem conhecia. Ela ia visitar e sabia das pessoas que estavam doentes. Depois ela ia, preparava esses remédios, ia para o mato, pegava as ervas, preparava, manipulava. Depois, um dia na semana, ia entregar.
A gente tem todo um patamar de chamar a natureza para que ela venha nos ensinar e nos orientar e nos dizer o que possamos fazer para curar alguém que necessita dentro da nossa comunidade.
Mas nossa cura é nas águas, na mata e no mato, e os pajé, e a reza. Nós precisamos da cura do médico, é boa, maravilhosa, não vou falar que nós precisamos. Mas depois que nós faz tudo da aldeia, tudo que o pajé indica, aí depois que nós faz tudo, aí nós vai para a medicina do branco. Tradição é vida. E é nossa tradição que traz nós em pé. E eu nasci, me criei os filhos na tradição e nunca parei.
Ser mãe, militante do movimento indígena dentro de uma comunidade, para mim é gratificante, porque eu viajo, eu estou sossegada e despreocupada, porque tem alguém que vai cuidar dos meus filhos. Então, quando ele está dentro da comunidade, meus filhos, eles estão seguros. Quando eu estou militando, é uma preocupação a menos. O pessoal sabe que eu vou trazer um resultado. A gente é forjado na luta mesmo, né? Não tem outra coisa, né? E eu sigo que eu não luto para as pessoas, eu não luto para o outro. Eu luto para os encantados, por uma coisa que está além de mim, que está no cosmos, que eu sei que esse é o certo, porque eu cresci nessa história e eu vivi, eu sei, eu sinto. Eles me direcionam. Então hoje eu estou aqui, nesse momento, falando para você, porque é com permissão desses encantados. E vai ser algo no futuro que será interessante, não só para a minha geração, mas para outra geração. Que é o interessante é que temos que defender e lutar pelo nosso território, pelo nosso lugar e defender a natureza. A gente tem um fogo do toré que a gente acende quarta, sexta. E nos rituais a gente sempre celebra o fogo, que é para clarear a luta, o caminho, a direção. Seria uma vela, uma chama maior, né? Que o pessoal tem a redução do fogo, né, para uma vela. E a gente teria esse fogo do toré, que seria a nossa vela maior, nossa chama maior. Que é justamente, a gente faz isso pedindo ao espírito do fogo, né, para clarear os caminhos que a gente irá percorrer durante a vida.
Meu pai era dono do fogo e não queria que ninguém mais o tivesse.
Eu guardava o fogo para ele, escondido de toda a gente. Mas um dia, um guerreiro descobriu meu segredo. E meu pai se zangou muito. Agora todos podem se aquecer, preparar seu alimento. Meu pai não tem um fogo só para ele. E eu posso clarear meu caminho pelo mundo. Eu sou Yaravi, filha de Minarã.
O nosso ritual sempre tem a fogueira, né? Sempre tem a fogueira porque a gente tem o cântico, né, do fogo, de como fortalecer a gente, né? E a gente sempre, os nossos rituais, tem que ter a fogueira, tem que ter a luz, o clarão, né? É onde a gente recebe os seres espirituais mais perto da gente, muito forte. Então a gente sempre está trabalhando com o fogo, com a água, com o ar, né? Com a terra, né? Com o clarear no sentido, com os 4 elementos da natureza, né? Então é muito forte. Para a gente isso aí é sagrado.
Em torno do fogo está a amizade, a família, a partilha. O mesmo fogo que destrói também recria e protege.
Nós somos povos da oralidade. A gente só sobrevive por conta da oralidade, que são as histórias que são contadas, né, dos avós, para nossos pais e para nós. Tudo que a gente tem hoje, a gente construiu a partir das histórias que meus velhos contavam. Então, meu avô contava as histórias, meu avô pedia para mim ler cordel, eu aprendi a ler, ouvindo as histórias do meu avô e contando o que eu lia para ele, né, que ele dizia que ele não era letrado.
Tinha uma profecia pelos encantados que dizia que ia dar um estouro no mar e que ia voar água na serra, ia bater água na serra. E se a gente não tivesse cuidado, não soubesse como fazer a luta, que iria vir uma guerra. A gente teve vários momentos de guerra. A gente teve um momento de guerra com os pistoleiros, fazendeiros, com o pessoal que estava caçando aqui, caçada ilegal, que vinha de Itabuna para fazer caçada aqui, o pessoal que jogava veneno no rio. Aí a gente pegou todo mundo, botou isso, a gente teve que tomar punho, né? Teve que ter punho forte, firme. E a gente botou todo mundo para correr e tomou de conta do território. Então já iniciou uma guerra. E aí o interessante que os encantados falou pra gente, que a gente tinha que fazer uma guerra sem derramar uma gota de sangue sequer. Nem de um lado, nem de outro. Que esse é o detalhe da luta. É você fazer uma luta, lutar e não ferir nenhum lado nem o outro. E aí eu acho que foi a grandeza da nossa luta tupinambá.
O fogo protege. Leva embora o bicho perigoso, o frio e a escuridão. A gente precisa da força do fogo aqui dentro para lutar pela vida e para clarear nosso caminho.
A gente está chegando na universidade agora, né? A gente não tem promotor indígena, a gente não tem procurador indígena, a gente não tem reitores indígenas.
Não é fácil resistir mais de 500 anos, ainda permanecer vivo, permanecer forte depois de todo esse processo colonial que ocorreu no Brasil, que ocorre no Brasil, de eliminação dos povos indígenas.
E as pessoas não param para reconhecer e não se reconhecem no processo que foi o Brasil colonizado, que ainda está colonizado, está sendo colonizado mais uma vez. E eles não percebem que nós, povos indígenas, estamos aqui presentes, resistindo como sempre resistimos.
Ah, você acha que eu sou branca demais para ser indígena e meu cabelo não é liso e nem negro o suficiente para ser indígena? E você conhece o processo histórico que essas pessoas viveram? Você conhece, você sabe que quando os portugueses chegaram no Brasil, o primeiro lugar que eles chegou foi na Bahia. A própria escola, o próprio sistema educacional da gente sempre passou uma vida muito romantizada de quem era o indígena. E o Estado também passava isso. Então as pessoas acabaram assim comprando essa visão, né, de desconhecimento mesmo. Quem são os povos indígenas?
A religião hoje é a ideologia política, porque nós temos aí a bancada evangélica, que está junto com a bancada ruralista, né, que está junto com a bancada do boi, da bala e da Bíblia. E está querendo que a gente se afaste cada vez mais da nossa cultura, do nosso sagrado. Meu templo sagrado se abre na cura ancestral. Estou aqui com meus ancestros curando com um rezo. Estou aqui.
Eu acho que tem muitas coisinhas ainda que precisamos consertar. Porque nós nunca vai deixar de ser o que é e nunca vamos se esconder e nem nunca vamos deixar de existir, porque toda vida existimos e estamos aí. Nós não paramos nem baixa a cabeça. Nós não deixamos o mal nos vencer. Nós temos que vencer o mal. Nós somos nós e não vamos tremer, nem vamos correr, nem vamos esmurecer, nem vamos parar. Nós sempre estamos de frente.
Nossa mãe está em toda parte, no alimento que brota do seu ventre, nas águas que correm sobre seu corpo, no ar que ela sopra e respiramos. Ela nos dá a luz e nos acolhe quando enfim descansamos. É um círculo completo.
Terra, meu corpo, terra, meu corpo, água, meu sangue, água, meu sangue, ar, meu sopro, ar, meu sopro.
Before I introduce our keynote speaker for the night, we love to hear which one of today's Lands and Nature's films do you like the most. You'll see a poll going up right now on the side of your screen. Please help us choose an audience favorite for day one.
Day one. This is you vote time.
I don't know, so far the Lakota film one was my favorite.
You know, I'm still hungry from that gumbo. We wanna give a strong bienvenida, welcome to our keynote speaker tonight, Richard Montañez, to our Heritage, Our Planet Film Festival. Bienvenido.
Thank you so much for that interesting talk that you led, Richard. Super great. And thanks to everyone for participating on the first day of Our Heritage, Our Planet. We did it!
Los hicimos!
Yay! Come on back, because tomorrow's day 2. You know where to find us.
Day 2, you know where to find us. Set those timers. Tick tock, tick tock.
See you guys real soon.
Buenas noches.
Hasta luego.